Do you want to purr for the microphone?
Do it. It's so cute.
She just looked up at me like, is that right?
Yeah,
I'm good.
Did I do that right? Welcome to today's podcast episode of Jess and Hids Make a Podcast, where we don't know the difference between radius and diameter and circumference.
Oh my
because,
gosh.
boy, that was wrong last week.
Yeah, that was really messed up. We're sorry.
Yeah, whoops. Yeah, I guess I'm sorry, but not enough to
Go back and
edit it out.
We just apologize and move on.
Yeah, and just know that it will probably happen again.
What is diameter? You told me. I have forgotten.
The distance between it's from the center to the outermost edge. No. It's the straight line connecting both. Like
the edges,
a straight line
from
through
edge
a circle.
to edge through the center.
Yes.
Is diameter. Radius is from center to edge. Circumference is around the whole.
All around.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's probably a math equation that'll tell you the circumference of a circle that has a diameter of 6 inches.
There is, and I used to know it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to figure out if you have the numbers to plug into and the formula, but I can't just spout the formula from memory. So
that's it. We're good.
Yep.
Apologies for not knowing our math because we are not mathers. I don't even remember. We were talking about the arms, the Muggy monster arms. I was like, why are we even talking
about the bicep measurements of the Muggy monster? So yeah, with the information we have, we can probably figure out the circumference.
6 inches across. That's a pretty big arm.
Yeah.
But not like massively
huge
huge
it's not
either.
like huge. But I'm thinking like for a 7-foot tall creature, I don't know, 6 inches it's pretty big. I'm like sitting here trying to like do the whole foot long measurement on my arm thing and then like half of that. So like, yeah.
Okay, that's just 18-inch
circumference.
Yeah. It's not a big bicep.
Well, I mean, measure my own bicep.
Mine is probably like 4.
Yeah. and half of that is fat. Oh my gosh, I keep hitting my mic. I apologize.
Oh my gosh. Stop making noise.
Anyway, so yeah, we got that wrong.
Also, the circumference is circumference equals pi times the diameter.
Oh, okay, so a
C
6-inch
equal pi d. I Google.
Yeah,
because I'm not smart to know that.
I had a feeling pi was involved.
Pi is always involved.
I didn't say it out loud because I knew I was going to be wrong.
And you would have been right.
I would have been, and I would have sounded super smart.
Yep.
But, oh man, I should just trust my instincts.
I want pie now.
Lucky for you, we have 4 pies in the kitchen right now.
Is
2 of
one
them.
of them pecan?
No.
Oh, that's the pie I really
We
want.
have a blueberry apricot.
Oh, yeah.
A lemon meringue, and half of a chocolate orange. That's like hourglass shaped because we just went at it with forks the other day. And you ate one part and I ate another part.
Okay. I'm going to have some of that when we're done with this.
Cool.
I'm going to apologize for sniffing a lot. I'm going to apologize right now so you don't have to feel like you have to edit it all out. Because it's going to happen a lot. It's been a rough weekend. So I have allergies and emotions very, very near the surface. So
that's okay.
It's good. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's been a sad but also a really good weekend too.
Yeah.
Because of love, all the love
all
in the
love
world,
felt, all the warm embers being sent.
Yeah, all the warm embers.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, let's.
Just realized you could probably full on read my notes right now.
Girl, no, because I have this screen in front of me.
I couldn't tell if it was like.
Also, I can't see that far. Are you kidding me? And upside down. I need new glasses. Remember?
Every time I learn just how blind you are, I get a little bit scared to drive in a car with you. To ride in a car with you.
No, that part, I can see far away.
Just not the massive elk coming at you from the side of the road. Just can't see that. It's fine.
No, that's why I want my contacts. When I have glasses, my peripheral vision is crap. And I get tunnel vision. I really don't like wearing glasses. I need to go get contacts again. And then, like, I don't know, do a GoFundMe for LASIK so I can not be blind. Anyway, patreon.com/Jess and Hids. If you want to help us not die in a fiery car wreck because I didn't see the giant elk.
Yeah. We still haven't reached enough patrons to actually pay us. It all just goes right back into Patreon. And because of that, we are able to do some really, really fun stuff over on Patreon. We are doing fun stuff. I'm not, it sounds like I'm complaining. I'm not.
Oh, no.
I love all of our patrons.
We have the most amazing patrons.
Yeah. And it's so cool that we can do it. We could do this. Like, yeah, without our patrons, we wouldn't be able to do any of it. So,
no, we love you guys, and we love all of our listeners, patron or otherwise. Mm-hmm. We are our downloads are growing.
Yeah.
Every week, every day.
Yeah.
It's so exciting to see.
It's so exciting to see that growth. There's also room for growth in our Patreon. That's all I'm saying.
We love growth. It's awesome.
Yeah. What else is new? Let's see. We're done dog sitting.
Phew. Sweetest puppies, the sweetest puppies ever, but I like being home.
Yeah, it was nice to just like chill at home today.
And not go anywhere.
And, be able to get things done. I actually was able to do my laundry.
It was nice not to wake up at 5 o'clock because the dog is like, hey, the sun's up, so we're up.
Yep.
I'm like, no, buddy.
The sun is awake. Now I'm awake, so I must play.
I must wake you up with my loud screaming.
Oh, boy.
I don't have anything new other, like, Patreon stuff is happening.
Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. By the time this comes out, Father's Day is past, but we are recording on Father's Day. So happy Father's Day. Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Love you. Happy Father's Day. I'll see you in a couple hours.
I had a thought and it went out the door with that. So I don't know what it was.
Sorry. Was it let's roll some dice?
Let's roll some dice. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
Oh, I just closed my computer. Cool.
I think you'll need that.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I got a 12. She got a 7. Here we go. I go first.
For those of you keeping track.
Oh, shoot.
I added 4 new topics to the list today, to our card deck.
Topics that I know about?
Yeah, they're on our list. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't actually checked the list in a while.
Then you don't know about them.
Okay. It'll be a surprise.
It'll be a surprise.
If I draw one, I'll be like, what the crap is this?
What is this? Why is this here?
That's fun. I should randomly add things to the list, too.
You should, really.
Without your knowledge.
Oh, yeah. Well, I keep the list on my computer.
I know.
I don't know. Yeah. I like lists. If you want to suggest a topic for us, jessandhids@gmail.com. Drop us an email. Let us know.
Yeah.
Any topic.
Any topic. I mean, we might veto it if it's not something that interests us, but you won't know that.
I sent a topic in 4 years ago, and I've never heard you talk about it.
We just haven't drawn the card yet. I don't know what you mean, man. It's just, it must still be in the deck. I don't know.
No, I want to say, like, the only stuff we veto, like, I mean, yeah, like if it doesn't interest us, but almost everything does.
Yeah.
So, like don't be like, oh, they might not like this, but we might.
Yeah. There are so many things that fascinate us that other people don't find fascinating. So
yeah, and it might come in now, and we're like, and then in 6 months we're like, oh, dude, yes,
yeah,
I am all in. Let's go, hyper focus, activated. So yeah, send us topics. All the topics. So speaking of things that might not interest everybody, but interests me, definitely. 2 words, 25 letters. Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. Oh, you put this on there.
I did, and it's the very first thing on the list.
So excited about this.
I know. Okay.
Cool.
I'll say it again. Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. So I know you recognize what it is because it's in our deck, and I think we've talked about it before. Mm-hmm. Some of our listeners might be like, what now?
Do what now? That is a big word. What does that mean?
So Ophiocordyceps unilateralis is also known as zombie ant fungus. It's an insect pathogenic fungus, which is a parasitic microorganism, either unicellular or multicellular, belonging to the kingdom of fungi that can infect and seriously disable or kill insects. Before I say anything else, I want to pause here and say that if you don't like hearing about insects and fungi and crazy fungal growth inside insects that kill them, maybe skip this.
Skip ahead to my part?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's fascinating, but I can see how it might make some people squirm a little bit and people will get grossed out. I love it.
Zombie ants, so,
Zombie ants, I'm all in.
All in.
All in. Sorry. So, what is this crazy fungus and what exactly does it do to ants?
Tell me.
These fungi thrive in warm, humid environments like tropical rainforests, which are
human environments.
Did I say? I said humid.
I heard human.
They don't thrive in human environments, and I'll touch on that later.
Oh, good. Oh, that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually going to. Yep. Okay, we'll get to that.
I'm sorry. I totally heard human, and I was like, wait a minute, what?
They thrive in
Do I need to be worried?
Humid.
Okay.
Environments, such as tropical rainforests. The rainforests are ideal for their growth and reproduction, but they can also be found in warm temperate forest systems like Florida and North Carolina.
Cool.
This fungus primarily targets ants from the tribe Campanatoni, which includes carpenter ants and giant forest ants. So this particular fungus targets very specific species of ants, which we will also get to later. The zombie ant fungus infects a foraging ant not by ingestion or inhalation like other insect pathogens such as like viruses or bacteria, but instead through spores that attach and penetrate the exoskeleton, drilling into the ant's exoskeleton with a combination of enzymes and pressure.
Oh,
yeah.
Poor buddy.
So this fungus has one goal: self-propagation and dispersal.
As do all fungi.
Yeah. The full pathogenesis, which means the process by which a disease or disorder develops, is characterized by alteration of the behavioral patterns of the infected ant. For the zombie ant fungus, this change in behavior starts to manifest between 14 to 22 days post-infection. And this behavioral change is sort of the reason for its nickname, the zombie ant fungus.
It takes a long time. I didn't realize it took that long.
It does, yeah. So an ant will get infected, and then over 2 weeks later, it starts, the behavior actually starts changing. But even that's gradual too. When this fungus gets through the ant's exterior armor, the fungal cells feed on the ant's insides and begin to spread throughout its body, creating a sort of scaffolding along the muscles of the ant. So it's just like growing this structural sort of
control
brace
system
around the ant's actual muscles.
That's so crazy.
And
also, I know ants have muscles, but the thought of an ant having muscles.
I know, you're like, it's
wait,
not
where?
all exoskeleton
where are
and
the
organs?
muscles? Like,
yeah.
oh, this big jacked up ant. Oh, no, I want to art that.
Like that, the movie
It's from
Ants.
the movie Ants.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
His name was Mandibles.
He was all buff. He was a soldier ant.
Mandible. Okay, so there was, I think the bad guy ant was named Mandible, but there was also that buddy soldier ant who, he was the jacked up one, like the dummy
it was
thick soldier
Stallone
ant.
played him, right?
I think so. I don't remember. It's been so long since I've seen that movie. Okay, so
Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
oddly enough, when researchers set out to investigate the spread of the zombie ant fungus through an infected ant, they found fungus in every part of the ant's body except for the brain. So that's where it differs from the whole typical zombie lore. The fungus grew around the brain and seemed to be careful not to obliterate the ant's central control system.
Whoa, that's
It's
cool.
crazy, right? They found that the fungus releases a variety of chemical compounds into the brain that interfere with the ant's nervous system and control hosts directly at the muscles. So they form this scaffolding around the muscles. The fungal growth happens around the muscles, avoids the brain, but then it starts sending these chemical compounds, like a cocktail of stuff, into the brain. And then that sort of dulls the actual, I guess, independent thought of the ant enough for it to control the muscles.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is
this
insane.
Fungus is fascinating.
It's like we all know that mushrooms are from outer space.
Oh yeah.
Like they're not classified with any other thing. But like, and they're a fungus. Fungus is insane.
Yeah.
And the fact that this does, like, I don't think of fungus as something with thought patterns.
Yeah.
And
and it's
like,
weird.
I guess technically this isn't a thought pattern. It's what the pathogen is meant to do.
Yeah. It's so crazy,
it's
right?
So weird. It's just like my brain is
be,
like, huh?
Yeah. That it can be like intelligent enough to do this.
Yeah.
And just have like a very specific species that it targets.
Yeah.
And to be able to do this kind of growth and like avoid the brain and, you know,
yeah, crazy. Okay, we're taking over, but we need your brain.
Yeah.
We need your brain to control the muscles that we now control. And we're going to just give you some drugs to make you let us control that.
Yeah.
This is like some really bizarre sci-fi movie that I want to see.
So when the change in behavior starts taking place as the infection advances, instead of following the colony's pheromone trails and foraging, as an ant normally would, the infected ant walks erratically, wandering aimlessly for a time.
Aww.
The ant exhibits irregularly timed full-body convulsions that dislodge it from its canopy nest and send it to the forest floor to seek out a more humid microclimate ideal for the fungus's growth. So this is happening in a rainforest. So like usually ant colonies are up in the treetops instead of down on the ground. Like
especially like the carpenter ants.
Yeah, carpenter ants are definitely. And like they only go down to the forest floor to forage.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they get infected. And then they're just going on living their daily life for a couple weeks. And then when they start getting those chemicals pumped into their brain and like their muscles, they start losing control of the muscles. The fungus gives them these full body convulsions that make them fall down to the ground.
Oh my gosh.
And from there, the ant climbs up to about 10 inches above the forest floor, and it will clamp onto like the vein of a leaf, specifically on the northern side of the plant. And I'm not sure why that is.
Far too smart.
This is way too smart.
It's way too smart.
So, and this usually happens in an environment with 94 to 95% humidity and temperatures between 68 and 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'm so glad this is not, doesn't invade humans because it's smarter than me.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Oh, no. Wait, are you saying oh boy because it can't? No, you said it doesn't. Right?
It doesn't, but you've heard of The Last of Us, right?
I haven't. I mean, I know the name of it, but
yeah.
Is that what this is based on? Is that what that's?
It is, yeah. And it's funny because when I first heard about this before the game and the TV show ever came out, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to write a story about that and how it infects humans. So
should have trademarked that.
I know, but I'll also be talking about that.
Okay, cool. Cool.
I'll be touching on it a little bit in the podcast, but I'm going to go into more the sciencey aspect of it in
Hi, baby.
our and another thing chat. All right, so why so specific? So the fungus finds these super specific ideal conditions. Researchers have tried moving the dead ants to other places and positions. Like while the fungus is still growing inside the ant's body, researchers have tried to move the ant. And that led to further growth and sporulation either failing to occur or it results in undersized and abnormal reproductive structures on the fungus itself. So like conditions have to be ideal.
And
this fungus, the fact that this fungus even knows exactly where to go, 10 inches above the forest floor, exactly these temperatures, exactly this humidity.
In the north.
On the north side of the plant. Like what even is that?
Well, like I know like the one thing I know about like when you're in the woods and stuff, lichen and moss grows on the north side of trees.
Yeah,
so that's how you can use it directional.
That gives it a better anchor then. So because like the clamping down is a key part of how this fungus
because it has to stay there.
It has to stay there and not get knocked loose after the ant dies. The ant clamps down in this death grip in this very specific spot. And once the mandibles of the ant are secured to the leaf vein or bit of moss or whatever, atrophy quickly sets in, again, signaled by the fungus pumping chemicals into the brain to control those specific mandible muscles. And so the mandible remains fixed in place and the ant can hang upside down on the leaf.
Oh, so he's not even just hanging out on, he's just hanging from the leaf.
Yeah.
Okay, my jaw hurts.
I know, I can't.
That just hurts. Like the thought, I mean, I guess at this time it's not really the ant's not thinking, right?
Yeah. So this clamping down on the vein of a leaf leaves very distinctive, like dumbbell shaped marks. Aw, Anakin's being cute.
He just like rolled over and patted Cake's ear for a little second. Sorry, I keep distracting. Okay. Very specific little marks.
Little dumbbell shaped marks on the leaf. And crazy fact, a 48 million year old fossil of a leaf stem exhibiting the dumbbell shaped marks, characteristic of those made by an ant in the death grip of Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, was discovered in the Messel Pit in Germany. And the Messel Pit is a geologic formation in central Germany that dates back to the Eocene epoch.
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
I think it's epoch.
I think so.
In this terminology.
Yeah. And a lot of fossils have been found there, but 48 million years old fossil has been found with that very distinctive mark on it. So this fungus has been around for a long time.
That's insane. And I think like when I first, like you're talking about tropical rainforest and I don't think of Germany as tropical, but it's the humidity levels and the temperature, which is, that's.
And in the Eocene epoch, things were a lot different.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I wasn't there. I don't remember, but
I know. I mean,
it's been a while.
I imagine 48 million years ago.
A lot of things were different.
The climate might have been slightly different than it was today.
Just a tad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that's insane.
Yeah. And then the
fact that it's such a specific mark that they can look at this fossil and go, oh, look, there's the bite mark.
Yeah. Well, because that clamp down of the mandibles is not something that ants do usually. Mm-hmm. So that tells us that whenever we do find that mark on a leaf, it's because it was forced to do that and the mandibles atrophied right at that moment when it clamped down. So it could not release.
That is so
it is very
insane.
Distinctive and telling that, oh, there was an ant infected by this very specific fungus. It's so crazy.
I just like this, just like my mind is like, what? Like, I don't know. My brain is just like going, okay, comprehend this. 48 million years ago, the same ants and same fungi existed that exist now.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same thing. And you know what? In 48 million years, they're probably going to be doing the same thing.
Yeah. And possibly will adapt to
whatever. That's insane. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Life is just fascinating.
Even crazier fact. A study led in Thailand revealed that there is a synchronization of this manipulated biting of clamping the mandibles happening at solar noon.
Wait.
Yeah, no. So the zombie fungus waits until the sun is directly overhead before making the host clamp down and secure itself to the leaf. Why? I don't know. Why? I have no idea.
Hang on, guys. Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. And go.
So, like,
bike.
When I was researching this, I had this whole little montage playing in my head, and it became like comic book style. A bunch of ants are climbing up 10 feet off or 10 inches off the forest floor, and they all look up and wait until the sun hits, and they're all like twitching because they're all infected by this thing. And then like when the sun reaches directly overhead, they clamp down and die. I don't know. Like, why is this fungus so smart?
Why is it so incredibly specific?
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, only this kind of ant, only here, only in this temperature, only with this humidity, and at noon. Thank you very much.
And like that, I tried to click on the reference link on Wikipedia that said that. And it led to this really, really big research paper, and a lot of language was there. But I even skimmed it, and I couldn't find anything that they said about noon.
About why?
Yeah. Or why or anything. So I would like somebody else to do the research on that and let us know. If you
are a really, really smart scientist studying this, let us know why it's noon. Yeah. Okay.
And if that's a thing, like, I don't know if that happens every time, or at least every time that it's been observed. Mm-hmm. And if not, then is it just like a random coincidence that it appears to happen at noon more often than not?
I wonder if like,
is there enough evidence to say, like, if there's like a benefit to the fungus?
Like, I wonder if like, is that, okay, if at noon, the sun is shining directly straight down. Mm-hmm. So maybe like that triggers something with the fungus to say, this is the most sunlight you're going to get. Do it now, you know,
like maybe
and like
it
that
needs
kickstarts the next step.
Yeah. That occurred to me too. Like maybe it needs that extra boost from like the nutrients it's getting from the sun, even though fungus doesn't need that. Never mind. Fungus they don't photosynthesize the way regular plants do. So I was thinking like maybe they need that extra little energy boost to kind of force the mandibles closed as tightly as they need it to. I don't know. See, I don't know. But yeah, the whole fungi not needing the sunlight.
I'm sorry, my brain just went, they get their power from the sun like Superman. And then I'm like, is Superman a fungi? And I was like, he's kind of a fun guy.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. I think he can be.
He can be, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. That was a weird little brain tangent, and I just saw all these little ants with Superman capes hanging from trees. Okay, I'm sorry.
So sad.
It's very sad. But it wouldn't be the ant. It would be the fungus that was the super. I don't know. Okay, carry on. I'm sorry. Carry on.
Yeah, the ant's just the host.
Yeah. Okay, so carry on.
Meanwhile, the fungus feeds on the ant's insides until it's ready for the final stage. So the actual growth of the fungus is what ends up killing the ant. And the fungus continues to grow, sending out little branches into more soft tissues and also out again through the exoskeleton to structurally fortify it. So it's building its little
ant-shaped cocoon.
I mean,
guess, I don't guess it's called a cocoon, but
it's
that's
not
how
a cocoon,
I'm but that's what it kind of.
Yeah, and I'll link videos. There's a good National Geographic.
I think I've actually seen that, unless it's really new. But I remember seeing like clips of a program with this on it.
And so you can see like once an ant has clamped down and died and the fungus continues to grow, you can see like the little mycelia, which is that thread-like root structure of a fungus. You can see that sprouting out of the ant, and that helps to kind of anchor it to the plant. So while it's doing that, it is also secreting antimicrobials to ward off competition and any foraging whatevers that might want to eat a dead ant.
Well, yeah, because now you're like, don't eat my house.
Yeah. So
don't eat my to-go restaurant.
It's digging in and anchoring itself to this plant and sending out antimicrobials. Nobody touch this ant. I'm doing my thing.
No touching.
It's crazy.
That is insane.
So several days after the ant dies, the fungus starts sending out a fruiting body through the base of the ant's head. And it's just this little stem that grows from the base of the ant's head, turning the ant into a sort of launch pad from which it can jettison its spores and infect new ants. This process takes about 4 to 10 days. So you'll really watch the video that I'm going to post in my reference links. They do a little like hyperlapse video of this fruiting body growing out of the ant. Oh my gosh, it's just crazy.
I have seen this video.
Yeah.
And it's in the back of my head. I can picture it. And I can just picture all of this happening. The little ant hanging there and the little.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so crazy. Yeah. It's just fascinatingly insane.
Yeah. When infected ants die, they're mainly located in regions containing a high density of ants which were previously manipulated and killed. So like, it's very likely that when one ant finds the ideal spot, they're probably surrounded by other dead ants that have done the same thing.
Oh, it's like a little ant graveyard.
That's actually exactly what they call it.
Oh.
They are termed graveyards and they can cover an area of 66 to 98 feet in range.
Oh my goodness.
With a local density of dead ants possibly exceeding 2 per square feet. So like they are still spread out enough. Okay. Like they're not like all clumped together.
Could you imagine you're just a little ant? You're like, I'm taking this seed back to the, what is that? Oh, I have made a wrong turn somewhere. This is creepy. This is like little ants. They're like, don't go into the ant graveyard.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. That's little stories they get told at night.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's anthropomorphize everything.
So the density of these ant graveyards can vary according to climatic conditions. I want to say climactic. Climate conditions. And that means that environmental conditions like humidity and temperature can influence the fungus's effects on the host population. So studies have described seasonal patterns in the density of previously infected dead ants, with an increase during the rainy season and a decrease during the dry season. It's thought that large precipitation events at the beginning and at the end of the rainy season stimulates fungal development, which leads to more spores being released and ultimately more individuals being infected and killed. So the denser these graveyards of dead ants, the more likely that like, oh, these were ideal conditions for this fungus to grow.
Like you could actually
So you can like measure the humidity of a place and whether or not the rainy season has been sufficient enough by measuring the density of these graveyards.
So you could go back to if you went back to like Germany 48 million years ago and were able to find a lot of these fossilized leaf. And I know like you're not gonna be able to find a lot of them probably, but if you found a lot, you could basically be like, oh, they had a good rainy season or nah, it was kind of a dry, rainy season. There's not a lot. The fact that you could just basically get weather, kind of weather predictions, or not predictions, but weather history as well.
From 48 million years ago. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so fascinating. I love it. I love it.
So, Ophiocordyceps unilateralis is an obligate parasite, and that means it needs a very specific host in order to survive. Researchers are studying different species that infect other species. In all, they have identified over 200 species of this fungus that can infect hosts from 10 insect orders, as well as spiders, though not all of these lead to behavioral manipulation. So not all of them have that whole zombie aspect to them.
Okay.
About 35 of the 200 that they have identified are known to manipulate insect behavior. So there's 35 different versions of this fungus that target 35 different insect species. The species...
That is crazy.
I know. There's a species called Ophiocordyceps campanati floridani. It only affects the behavior of the Florida carpenter ant. And then there's Ophiocordyceps flemingiae. That only affects red hazelnut carpenter ants.
I didn't even know red hazelnut carpenter ants were a thing. But
I know.
Okay. That's
so
this
it's so
specificity. The specificness of this ant and fungus. Words. I'm struggling with the words.
I'm having to say a lot of big words here, and I'm struggling.
I'm like sitting here just like fascinated at your big words. Like, you just rolls off your tongue so perfectly. But like I only do this ant. I only do this kind of ant.
Yeah. Sometimes the fungus infects the wrong species, and the infection just doesn't go anywhere. It just doesn't take.
Oops, my bad.
It can't even break through the exoskeleton or like...
That is nuts.
So it's not like intelligently targeting, I guess. For the most part,
it is. Like it, but even if they accidentally get a random other ant infected, they're like, yeah, don't do that one anymore because
oops, you'll die.
Joey the Spore died over there. Sorry, he was
Joey the Spore.
Sorry.
Aw, Joey the Spore. I love that. Okay. He needs to go on our
He's going to go up with our
list.
little ghost. Yeah, okay. Let me make a note because I'll forget in 5 minutes.
There's a related species called Ophiocordyceps sinensis that colonizes ghost moth caterpillars and erupts from their head like a unicorn horn. The fungus caterpillar husk combination is prized in traditional Tibetan and Chinese medicine as an immune booster, cancer treatment, and aphrodisiac. And in a bizarre twist, Ophiocordyceps species that inhabit Japanese cicadas may have even replaced symbiotic bacteria to help their hosts process nutrients from sap.
Wait. Okay. So my brain is like going, okay, so we find these little ants and we're going to crunch them up and they're going to help us fight disease, which honestly,
that was the moth. That was the ghost moth.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The one that targets ghost moths.
The one that targets the ghost
moth caterpillars. Sorry.
Okay. And my initial thing was like, humans will grind up anything and pretend it's something. But then I was like, this spore creates antimicrobial things and it makes perfect sense that it's a little natural sanitizer.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
so the weird visuals we get when it comes to horrible animal deaths in this podcast, I just got a visual of squeezing a ghost moth caterpillar onto your hand like hand sanitizer and just rubbing it around.
Got it. I'm good.
Yep.
I'm so sorry. But that's where my brain was like, wait. Why do we have to do this? And then I'm like, well, actually, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the fungus isn't going to release the sort of antimicrobials or whatever. The word.
Antimicrobial. Yep.
Yeah. So it's not going to release that until it finds the ideal host. Yeah. And so like it can only release it once it infects the host. And so that totally makes sense that it can only be found in the husks of these ghost moth caterpillars that have been infected by this host. By this fungus. Just a husk.
Every time I hear the word husk.
I know. A husk.
A husk.
IT crowd.
Yeah, I just watched that episode the other day. That's so fascinating, though. Like, this only exists if all these other perfect conditions exist.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Carry on.
Other fungi that infect insects. There is Entomophothora muscae, which in Greek literally means insect destroyer of the fly. It causes infected flies to climb a certain height, glue themselves at the mouth to a plant, and assume an abdomen up death pose that's optimal for spore dispersal, which is horrifying to think about.
Horrifying. I was like, no.
Nope. There's also Massospora cicadina, which pumps its cicada hosts full of hallucinogenic drugs and causes part of their abdomens to fall off.
No, gross.
The bare-bottomed cicada then wiggles its way towards death, again in the interest of spore dispersal.
Why does it have to wiggle after its bottom falls off?
I don't know. That's just that's what the article said.
Why?
And I was like, that's fun. I'm going to copy paste that and read it word for word. The bare-bottomed cicada then wiggles its way towards death.
That is horrific. And I'm sorry for laughing. I'm not laughing at this. I'm laughing because I'm like nervous about the horrific visions that are in my head right now. Oh,
because we anthropomorphize everything in our minds. So we're like,
absolutely do.
I'm envisioning all of this happening to humanoid-looking insects. And
what's going on with Fred over there?
The cicada.
Fred's butt just fell off.
He's naked and now he's wiggling away. What's going on?
Let's just
look
shaking
the
his
other
little way,
butt.
Charlie. Look the other way. Walk away.
Oh my gosh. These poor insects. Okay. Each of these zombie-creating fungus species evolved to match a specific insect, so unique strains have little effect on an organism except for the one they evolved to infect. We touched on that.
That's fascinating.
So, for example, a cordyceps that evolved to infect an ant in Thailand can't infect a different ant species in Florida.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy. So, can a fungus evolve to infect humans in the same way?
And I want to say no.
I really want to say no because that is terrifying, and it makes me want to watch The Last of Us because that's what this is about.
I don't want my butt to fall off.
I know. I don't want to wiggle away to my death.
Biting a plant belly up.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
I don't want to have to glue my mouth to something.
Oh, no. I have horrifying dreams sometimes that I've bitten something and I can't let go or I can't get it out of my mouth. And that's just terrifying.
That makes my jaw
hurt. I know it does. I wake up and I'll be like, and I think it's
Ah.
because I clench my teeth at night.
Yeah.
But I just have those dreams where I'm like, I just want to open my mouth and I can't. Oh, it's terrifying.
Yeah, lockjaw.
Oh, I don't like it.
Okay, so Barrett Klein, an entomologist at the University of Wisconsin in La Crosse, says, it's exciting terrain at the fringes of our understanding to look at the extent of how parasites control their hosts. If animals are so easily manipulated, what does that mean about us? Like I said, the video game turned TV show, The Last of Us, is about exactly that. The series is set decades after the collapse of society caused by a mass fungal infection transforms its hosts into zombie-like creatures. And this fungal infection was able to spread due to global warming and climate change.
Okay, so everybody go buy antifungal cream.
The spread of fungus is actually something that's kind of growing now that we've seen climate change. That's one of the results of climate change is how it's infecting fungal growth in the world, all over the place. The creator of The Last of Us, Neil Druckmann, was reportedly inspired by a nature video showing the fungus Ophiocordyceps unilateralis infecting a bullet ant. And for more about the possibility of this kind of fungal infection happening in humans, I'm going to dive behind the science of that, or dive a little bit into the science of that, because I'm not a scientist.
You sound like one. You sound really smart over there.
Thank you. But I'm going to be talking about that in our And Another Thing chat that's available to patrons.
Bonus content.
So join our Patreon if you want to listen to that. It's pretty cool and fascinating.
I can't wait.
And also a little bit scary, but also a little bit comforting because it hasn't happened yet. Yet.
Oh, yet.
So
Take
yeah.
care of the planet.
Patreon.com. Yeah. Well, yeah. Patreon.com/JessandHids.
For bonus content.
It'll be there on Tuesday.
I'm excited for this.
So by the time you listen to this on Thursday when it releases, or after that, if you're catching up, the bonus content will already be on our Patreon page. Just look for it under collections. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
I have one more thing I want to talk about.
Okay, cool. Just keep talking. Just tell me everything.
Okay.
I'm just going to skip my part because it's not nearly as interesting.
No, I mean, we've only, I guess it's been 51 minutes. The anti-zombie fungus.
Oh, so you're saying there's hope.
I'm saying there's hope.
Okay.
Ophiocordyceps unilateralis also has its own parasitic fungus that infects it.
It's fungusception.
Fungus within a fungus.
Within a fungus.
They're called hyperparasites, and they're parasites whose hosts are themselves parasites.
Okay.
And I have big scientific words of a couple of the species that have been recently discovered. The anti-zombie fungus.
Okay.
Niveomyces coronatus and Turobielomyces zombiae. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I tried once.
No,
if I didn't get it right,
there we
go.
Good.
Those are
perfect to me.
They have been recently discovered, at least at the time of this article. And I did make a note to check all the articles. I think the oldest one I had was from 2023. So these are all fairly recent.
Fascinating.
Yeah. The anti-zombie fungus moves in to attack the Ophiocordyceps unilateralis as the fungal stalk emerges from the ant's body. And it stops the stalk from releasing its spores. So it attacks it once it has killed the ant, but before it can release the spores. And researchers theorize that these hyperparasites keep the fungus from being too lethal on the ants it infects. If the zombie fungus burns through its hosts too quickly, it will run out of hosts and die out, which also wouldn't be good for the anti-zombie fungus.
Right.
So it's possible that these hyperparasites help to keep Ophiocordyceps unilateralis in check, allowing it to exist as a constant, just constantly exist. All species.
Everything has, there's always something bigger that keeps everything else in check. Yeah.
There you go.
So is there an anti-fungus? An anti-fungus fungus?
Anti-zombie fungus.
And then an anti-zombie fungus. Dude, that's seriously fascinating.
Yeah.
And I want you to, I can't wait for the after discussion because I want to know more.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's so cool. What a fabulous world we live in.
I know.
On every level. And then there's still so much, there's so many things we haven't even discovered yet, insect wise. Yeah.
Because there's so much terrain in the world that is unexplored.
Yeah.
Like the deep rainforests and not even going to throw the oceans into the mix.
The ocean's terrifying.
Holy crap.
Let's stay out of there.
But there are so many insect species that have come and gone without us even knowing it. And we wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
Unless we discover the fossils.
Yeah.
Millions of years down the road.
And then microbiomes within biomes and these little areas where these little ant graveyards and stuff, and they have their whole little own ecosystem, I'm sure. Ecosystem?
Yeah. I've heard it both ways. I think it's ecosystem.
But that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that you got that topic because I know you put it on the list.
Yeah.
And I know you were super excited.
It was the very first thing on the list because I had just barely learned about it.
Mm-hmm. That's fascinating.
It's really cool. No, I didn't just barely learn about it. I guess I barely relearned about it because I very first heard about it before this podcast was even a twinkle in our little eyes.
I feel like I remember seeing probably that Nat Geo thing.
Yeah, I think I
like Planet Earth or one of those shows that does those time
Hostile
lapse.
Planet, I think is the clip that I saw.
Yeah. That sounds vaguely familiar. Anyway, we'll link it and I'm going to watch it again. I love those shows that do those time lapse things where you see this happening. This thing that the only way you're going to see this is being a scientist and this is your life's passion and you spend your whole life going, oh my gosh, it's happening right now.
I'm going to set up a tiny little camera right here.
Yeah. We're going to zoom in and we're going to just time lapse this,
Yeah.
But that is cool. And the fact that this has been happening for 48 million years.
Uh-huh.
And that we can see that exact little dumbbell impression in a fossil.
Yeah.
It's just so
it makes me wonder if the original Ophiocordyceps unilateralis only infected ants and has adapted over time to infect other species from that original fungus.
Yeah.
Or if all of the other versions of the fungus have always existed.
Was it just one that shifted with the climate?
Yeah.
Or location? Or have they all kind of been there?
That's
the strain.
The other strain. Did these strains develop from this original ant-killing fungus? Or were they all existing strains already? I don't know.
And how did it get from Germany to the Amazon rainforest?
Spores.
Was it? Well, yeah, but I'm did it... if we could go back
hibernate?
to if we could go back and follow the fossil record, would it have spread just out, or did a bird pick up a leaf and carry it?
Yeah.
That had this ant body fungus on it and drop it somewhere, and it spread from there. So, are there little pockets of spread, or did it just slowly spread out from this one? Did it actually start elsewhere? And
is Germany the origin of it?
Yeah.
That's just the oldest record we have of it. I don't know.
Oh, see, this is me as a time traveler. I'm let's go back to this specific spot. I'm
going to go back with my tiny little micro lens.
I'm going to set it up, and I'm going to watch this little thing, and then I'm going to watch what happened to this particular leaf.
I'm going to find the first ever strain of this fungus
and watch
follow its life.
That's exactly like
and its
that's
descendants.
Some people are like, I want to go back and change history. No, I just want to watch. Like,
I just want to learn stuff.
I want to learn. Yeah. Like, I don't even want to mess with it. I'm just going to be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to watch this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to Doctor Who reference. There's a scene in one of the Donna Nobles. I think it's the second Donna Noble episode when it's the first one when she's getting married with the spider, the Arachnos.
Oh yeah.
Where he goes and parks the TARDIS outside of where Earth develops from the bit of dust and all of that. And they just like speed it up and watch it kind of start to come together. Yeah. I want to do that with this.
That would be cool.
Make that happen, scientists.
Yeah. I want to see all
I'm waiting for you. I want to do it. Do it now.
Yeah. Time travel,
make it happen.
Aliens.
Okay. If I am a time traveler, come into the room right now.
Anakin's staring at me.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if somebody knocked on the door? Like, I'd be oh my gosh. Paradox.
That would be cool.
That would be fascinating.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's all I've got.
That's so cool.
Ophiocordyceps unilateralis.
How long have you been practicing saying that?
A lot.
You've been mumbling all week. So
I have, yeah.
Been saying that.
I had to mumble all of the scientific names for all of the things just to make sure. And like, if you break it down by syllable, they're easy.
Yeah.
But it's saying them all at once that my tongue gets tripped up.
I mean,
Yep.
I'm not even going to try to Orpheo something or other. Lateralis. Orpheo?
Cordyceps.
Ophiocordyceps.
Unilateralis.
Okay. Ophiocordyceps unilateralis.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess in The Last of Us, they just refer to it as cordyceps, which is a separate thing. There's Ophiocordyceps and there's cordyceps.
Okay.
And I sort of skimmed over that bit of the Wikipedia page in my research, but I was more interested in the Ophiocordyceps, the specific thing that we're talking about. So, yeah.
That's fascinating. I love it. I'm so excited. I love this. Have I told you how much I love our podcast?
I love our podcast too.
I love learning the things that you teach me about the fascinating things you research.
Yeah. What are you talking about? What you talking about?
I am going to talk to you about, I'm going to talk to you about mental illness.
Oh.
Let's bring the party down for a little bit.
Is it due to a fungus infecting the body, or?
It is not.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to say, like, we're probably going to giggle a little bit about this because it's a kind of a funny little thing, but mental health and mental illnesses are not funny at all. And
yeah,
I want to be a part of like removing the stigma on that. And
for sure,
if you have some mental health issues, if you have a mental illness or, someone who does, just, help them.
There are resources.
There are resources available, and I'm going to link some in the show notes. Okay. Just to kind of, just be aware that just because someone does something that's different, like it might just be, there might be some underlying issues, and
yeah.
So anyway,
I'm super curious about what you're talking about. But yeah, no, okay. I do appreciate the
yeah. We're not a scientific, factual, like we're not.
We try to be factual.
We try to be
we're not
factual,
professionals.
That's the
researchers.
word.
We're not professional scientists or
psychologists or doctors. Yes.
So, yeah.
But yeah. So and I don't want to make fun of mental illness.
Yeah.
Even though we might giggle a little bit in the upcoming bit because there's some little funny bits. But so I actually saw this on Beth Frevis posted it on Threads.
Oh.
And it kind of was going like, there was kind of like a big uptick in people talking about this and sharing this article and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it's the glass delusion.
Okay.
So have you heard about that at all? Or?
No, I vaguely remember you telling me about it and mentioning that you're going to add it to the list because you read the thing that Beth posted and found it fascinating. And I said, cool, I'm going to look into that. And then I immediately forgot about it. So I'm glad that you're talking about it.
I forgot about it too until I drew the card and was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I don't have like a ton of stuff, but because it is kind of a very specific manifestation of a psychiatric disorder.
Okay.
There we go. But of course, it wasn't called that at the time of it happening.
Yeah.
This happened mainly in the Middle Ages, from about the 15th to the 17th century, for about 200 years.
200 years?
Ish, yeah. Among the nobility, which is going to throw back to our episode about the mirror mafia.
Yeah.
And the improvement in glass. And the fact that very clear glass became available to the nobility and the very wealthy. And items were being made of glass that only the nobility could have. It's very, this was never recorded happening in the common folk.
So what is it? What is it?
The glass delusion is basically, don't touch me, I'm made of glass, I might break.
Oh.
It's you become firmly convinced that you are made of glass.
Oh my goodness.
And you take great steps to prevent breaking.
Wow. Like Mr. Glass.
Like the podcast I listened to very specifically mentioned Unbreakable and Mr. Glass. Yeah. Which was,
but he actually
not the same. He actually did have a
physical,
bone, a bone disorder that made his bones very fragile.
Yeah. And it was real, not a delusion.
Yeah, that was not a delusion. That was the actual thing that happened. But yeah, they did talk about it. So I got my sources from a couple different places. Wikipedia had a little just blurb. I got some from history.com and inspirethemind.org. But a lot of this I actually got from the Sawbones podcast.
Oh, I love Sawbones.
I was like, I've listened like one or two little episodes, and I was like, I saw it linked, and I was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna go listen to this. So I was listening to that at like 1 a.m. last night, and I was like, wait, I have to rewind what they just said because it didn't make sense.
So Sawbones is Justin McElroy and his wife.
Yes,
Sydney. Is that
Sydney?
her name?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And
his wife is a actual doctor. And she dives into the weird, crazy medical practices of a long time ago.
Yeah. And it's funny because it opens with, she's like, do you remember when you asked me about the weird psychological issues in the 15th century? And he's like, no, I would never ask you about that.
Just play along.
She was like, just play along. But yeah. So yeah, it's like a 40-minute podcast episode where they talk about this. And I pulled most of my information from there. So the two most notable cases of this, where we actually have names and time periods. King Charles VI of France and Princess Amalie of Bavaria.
Oh.
So I'm going to talk about King Charles VI because his is the most well-documented and the one we have the most information on.
Okay.
So he reigned from 1380 to 1422. He was known as King Charles the Beloved. He became king at 11 years old.
That's so young.
Yes. And honestly, might have contributed. He had people around him who were helping him run the country. They weren't just like, tell us your wisdom, 11-year-old boy.
What do you think we should do?
What do you think we should do? I want Legos. I don't know. Legos didn't exist back then. But
I was going to say Cheetos, and that didn't exist either,
I want cheese.
I want cheese. I crave cheese.
A croissant.
Cheese. I crave cheese.
So initially, Charles did really well. He had good ideas, and he did a lot of really good things in the early years of his reign to improve France.
Okay.
And he was on his way to having a really good record as king. In his mid-20s, they started to notice that he was kind of hyperactive. Like he would just start talking and just talk. And they would be like, hey, calm down.
Up.
Or he would just start doing things almost kind of manically.
Oh.
And they said he seemed feverish or not quite in this world.
Huh.
And he started making bad decisions. And I'm just like, oh, get him a psychiatrist.
Yeah,
therapy.
he needs therapy.
He needs stuff, but that didn't exist at the time.
Yeah.
And he was king, so you don't just go, hey, king, I think you're going crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe you need help. And he's like, but I'm the king.
I imagine he had advisors that he probably talked to, but definitely not in that capacity.
Exactly. And even if he said, I don't know what's maybe he said hey, trusted advisor, my brain won't shut up. And they're like, oh, you're fine. You're the king, or whatever.
Because you're so brilliant.
You're so brilliant. And he was described as incredibly brilliant.
Yeah.
Both he and Princess Amelie were considered extraordinarily intelligent.
I mean, it's often coupled with neurodiversity.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, time travel. Let's go back. Let's help these people. But I mean, I guess it would change history. Never mind. Okay. So he had heard about an assassination attempt on his friend. Might have been his brother. Oops. Anyway, and he said, you know what? The Duke of Brittany is hiding this assassin. We're going to lead a military expedition. We're going to go get this assassin. As they're riding along, this leprous man runs forward, grabs the king's horse and says, you need to turn back. There's a traitor among you. You're going to be betrayed. And the king's like, move this man away from me. And the soldiers are like, go away, and things were just getting like real intense. And while this was happening, they kind of pushed the man back. They're like, go away. And basically he just kind of followed this little expedition of people and just kept saying, there's a traitor, and an imposter or whatever. And there might have been like some mental illness there as well, or he may actually have had some information. We don't know. Yeah. This is just kind of a thing that happened. But during this time, one of the pages or servants dropped something that made a loud noise, and King Charles snapped. Ooh. He started attacking his men. He called them all traitors. He attacked his brother Louis and attacked with the sword. He got his sword out and he was going after his own men. And he finally got subdued and they got him stopped, and he went kind of into a coma-like state.
Wow.
For some time. And they said that this could possibly have been a moment of schizophrenia or a brain injury from a recent illness, something like meningitis or something like that could have triggered this.
Yeah.
But after this event, he would occasionally go into these coma-like states or have these episodes where he would attack. But he started to believe that he was very delicate and would become damaged if anyone touched him.
Wow.
If anyone brushed up against him. Pope Pius II wrote that Charles began to have this fixed delusion that he was made of glass. He would, if he bumped into someone or if he moved too quickly, he would shatter. Wow. And he had special clothes made with iron rods around his body to protect it.
Wow.
And then if he sat down, it had to be on a very piles of pillows, and he would wrap blankets around him or wear these voluminous clothes that were just layers of fabric. He wouldn't take baths. It says he went for 5 weeks without taking a bath.
Wow.
Because he was I can't get down into the bathtub. I will break. Yeah. I will bump against because they had the metal tubs.
Yeah. I mean, all tubs are hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's like, I'll break. I'll break if I do this. At one point, the doctors were like, we're going to scare him out of this.
Oh, no.
Go. So they put men in a room they knew he was going into, and they okay, when you hide, be very quiet. When he walks in the room, jump out and scare him.
Oh, my goodness.
It didn't work, obviously.
No.
Actually, it probably made it worse.
Yeah.
Because then he was like, no, I can only leave my... But is a...
Based on the sort of development of this mental issue that he has, it seems to have been exacerbated a lot by paranoia.
And loud noises.
And so maybe having dudes jump out and scare him probably wasn't the best idea.
Probably not the best idea. Hopefully he wasn't carrying his sword at that time.
Yeah.
He just starts whacking.
You're dead.
You're dead. Bad idea. But yeah, so he started just always doing this. And he was very, when he would lay down or anything, he was very concerned that he would break his bottom. Which made me think about the poor cicada.
Oh, no. His bottom fell off. He's got to wiggle away to his death.
Oh, poor precious king. Oh, my gosh. Reddit user Jess that's what it looks like their name is. They said there was the commentaries by Pope Pius II are the most well-known and well-documented references to King Charles' malady. And he says... that during this time he would not recognize his wife or children, sometimes didn't know his own name, sometimes didn't even realize that he was the king.
Wow.
He would refuse to change his clothes or bathe and would often run through the halls of his palace howling like a wolf. So, I mean, definitely,
so it's not just the glass
It's not
thing.
just the glass thing, but that became like the biggest fixation.
Yeah.
That lasted the longest time. They did say that he might have inherited this mental illness from his mother, Jean of Bourbon, who also suffered a mental Jeanne. Jeanne? It's French, so I'm not sure. I'm going to say Jean. I'm sorry to anyone who speaks French. She suffered a mental breakdown after the birth of one of her children. Her grandfather, father, and brother were also noted to have suffered from mental breakdowns throughout their life. And this was even passed on to Charles VI's grandson, Henry VI of England.
Wow.
So there's definitely a history of mental illness in the family.
Yeah.
In the bloodline.
Yeah.
Throughout history, there's been kind of the jokes of the royals. And this is also a thing, like, because nobility and royalty frequently intermarried or stayed within the same bloodlines.
You couldn't marry anybody outside of your social class. And as the nobility
became smaller and smaller, you didn't have many options. Yeah. And that is where you would get a lot of birth defects or mental illness and that sort of thing, just because of that very small gene pool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad that this happened because he had such a promising future.
Yeah.
But there is a famous painting, and I will have a copy of that, of King Charles in his bed, like in these voluminous clothes, and all his advisors are kind of there, and he looks very sad.
Oh.
But that was very common for him to do, like to just stay in his bed wrapped in these clothes because he was certain he was going to break.
Yeah. I don't want to sound insensitive, but I want to do that. I just want to stay in bed wrapped in fluffy pillows and blankets.
Yeah.
And
that would be great.
Yeah.
Not like for like years and years, but just for a couple days.
Yeah, I think just maybe a weekend of just pillow vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to schedule a little Minty Bee.
Yeah.
Pile up some pillows and just take the weekend.
That'd be great if we could schedule our Minty Bees.
Instead of them just coming at the most inconvenient time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to talk also about
the
Princess Alexandra Amelie. She was the 23-year-old daughter of the recently abdicated King Ludwig I of Bavaria. In the late 1840s, her relatives noticed she was acting strange. Mm-hmm. And they were like, Amelie, what is happening?
What's up with Amelie?
Why is she
Something's up with Amelie.
Walking very delicately and like going sideways through the doorways and through the corridors, making sure she doesn't touch anything or anyone, and like tiptoeing. And if someone walked towards her, she would, don't touch me. Don't touch me. They're like, dear child, what is wrong? And she says, I have just remembered an event that happened when I was a child. I have two different descriptions of what happened. One says, as a child, she had swallowed a full-sized grand piano made entirely of glass. Another resource says it was a glass figurine of a grand piano.
Okay, well I
want to go with that because I don't think she could swallow a whole grand piano made of glass, but it was a delusion that she had. It didn't obviously actually happen, but she said, I swallowed this glass piano when I was a child. It's still inside me, wholly intact, and if I get bumped or make any sudden movement, it's going to shatter. And it's going to kill me. It's going to pierce all my organs and kill me.
So she didn't think she was made of glass. She just thought she had it inside her. Huh.
Yes. And I want to, this one reference that I have, inspirethemind.org, a person, they did an article on it. Emily Zarevich, this is from November of 2021. She says, I'm a history enthusiast who studied European history, and she writes about it for various articles. And she also has some anxiety issues of her own. She says, as someone who has my own issues with anxiety, I understand fully how the mind can convince a person to believe the most outrageously irrational thoughts. Mm-hmm. Like looking at this, like, yeah, this woman believes she swallowed a piano as a child. And at 23, she's like, it's still inside me.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I know like in the Middle Ages, we didn't really have a full concept of how everything worked, but obviously not possible.
Yeah.
Not likely.
Maybe if the figurine was
very
so
small.
tiny.
Yeah. And just,
yeah.
But anyway, so historians have long speculated that Amelie or Alexandra most likely had obsessive compulsive disorder. Mm-hmm. So, because she was also like, I can only wear white. My everything is deep clean. Like she would have her servants clean her room every single day, like spotless cleaning. She had a severe phobia of germs. Unlike Charles, like hygiene was a priority.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a bath. Oh, I'm going to take another bath. Clean the room. And her dad was like, she's unsuitable for marriage because she has these quirks. Yeah, so he basically kind of like anybody who wanted to marry her, he's like, nope. And you're going to just stay in the house and you're not going to go anywhere. And
well, I will say that that's actually
surprising.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Because, I could totally see him being like, oh, I need to get her married to get her out of here. She is weird. Mm-hmm. But that's cool that he wanted to just keep protecting her a little bit. But also
she had no choice.
Yeah.
In it. So
there was also that whole no. You can't handle yourself. You have to stay here. So like, there are pros and cons to both sides.
Cons. Like it was like, in a way, very forward thinking. Like, oh, marry her off, get rid of her, and let someone else deal with the crazy. Uh-huh. Or in the fact that like my daughter is not well, I must keep her safe. But almost like to a fault.
Yeah, I'm going to stop her from living her life.
She was briefly courted by Emperor Napoleon's nephew, Prince Louis Lucien Bonaparte. Huh. But her dad was like, no, because like thinks she's going to break if she has glass inside her. What is childbirth going to be like? Which I don't think he thought about that, but the person writing this was like,
maybe he probably had his family line in mind.
Yeah,
so.
But she was the only one of his children to never marry, but she like never was going to have a chance to. She did not get a choice in the matter.
Yeah.
So, but one of the things that actually was interesting was she would, and like something that a lot of therapists say to do today, journal. Uh-huh. She actually would do that. She would journal her stuff, which is how we know some of the things about her. Wow. She created a whole career out of writing. She wrote poetry, stories, essays, and plays, and she would donate the profits to charitable causes once these were published.
Oh, that's awesome.
So she did kind of turn her mental illness into a good thing.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
So obviously a partial answer is yes, but did she only write about her mental illness or did she
No,
write
she just wrote other things. Like it wasn't just journalizing it. She's basically stuck at home.
Yeah.
So that
was her creative outlet.
That was her creative outlet. Okay. So she did these poetries, all these different things about just whatever, I guess probably whatever kind of struck her fancy in the moment or creativity kind of came out. And then she would have them published and donate the proceeds.
That's cool.
So that's kind of cool. I mean, it's a good positive silver lining to her, possibly relatively unhappy life.
Yeah.
As she struggled with this anxiety and the OCD and this delusion.
Things. Yeah.
I have one other example of a prince, an unnamed prince.
A mystery prince.
An unnamed royal who believed he was not a human, but a glass vase.
Oh.
Yes. He spent much of his time simply lying on a bed of straw. Like, he's like, don't touch me, I'll break. And the man's physician finally was like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We got to snap him out of this.
Did they scare him?
It's so much worse.
Oh, no. Okay.
The physician ordered that his bed of straw be set on fire and the door
With him in it?
Mm-hmm, and the door to his room be locked.
What?
So they did. And he started beating on the door, begging for help. And the doctor said, wait, you're banging on the door? Why aren't you shattering? You're a glass vase. And the guy says, please open the door. He says, open, I am begging you, my friends and dearest servants. And so they did. He says, I don't think I am a glass face, but just the most miserable of all men, especially if you let this fire put an end to my life. So they let him out and he stopped thinking he was a glass face. So in that case, it worked. But also, don't set someone's bed on fire.
That seems like this doctor was paid to set a prince's bed, to kill a prince, pretty much. This doctor was an assassin. It was like, you know what? I know how to cure him. Let's light him on fire.
We'll either get rid of the crazy guy or we'll cure him.
Crazy, I guess.
And like, hey, I cured him. Yay. Look how smart I am.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
that also, the way that was told and the fact that he's an unnamed prince kind of seems more folkloric.
Is it more anecdotal? Like, yeah.
I don't know if it actually happened, but that's interesting.
Yeah. I don't either. Like, did this really work?
Let's light his bed on fire and lock the door.
Okay. According to researcher Gil Speake, who wrote the definitive paper on the glass delusion in 1990, these two notable 16th century doctors, Alfonso Ponce de Santa Cruz, who was the physician to Philip II of Spain, and André du Lorens, physician to Henry IV of France, are the ones who told this story of this unnamed royal who believed he was not human but glass.
Was one of them the physician that did it?
Possibly it might have been de Lorens, because he's the one who specifically said that the nobleman was very highly intelligent and well-spoken other than this moment of time when he believed he was a glass face.
Interesting.
But then the physician cured him.
Yeah.
So there are references, recorded references throughout the Middle Ages and into the 17th century of people who believe they possess glass hearts, glass feet, glass heads. Some thought they were glass flasks. Men seem to have a certain predilection for having glass buttocks.
What?
So they would...
It's so fragile.
It's so fragile. So they would carry pillows around and they would only sit on pillows.
Oh my gosh.
Nicole de Plessis, a relation of Cardinal Richelieu, suffered from this particular delusion.
Wow.
He would always carry a pillow with him or several pillows to protect his bum. And then there's a story.
Again, I'm laughing.
I know. Like, it's funny. It's like, oh, your poor little glass bum.
Poor little tushy.
But also, like, this is a mental illness. So, but it is a little funny. There is a story of another man who said he had a glass rear end and his doctor was just kind of fed up and was like, basically spanked him or beat him. Oh. And when the man was like, stop, and the doctor's like, oh, you can feel this and you haven't shattered. And the guy was like, oh, oops. Oops, you got me.
Guess it's not glass.
Yeah. So like, I mean, like sometimes I think these doctors like, I am so fed up with this. Like, yeah, he's paying me well, but I am done with this glass buttocks. Okay. Joking aside, this was a mental illness, and I wish these people could have actually gotten help. Mm-hmm. But honestly,
it kind of makes you wonder what like the triggering sort of event was that made them start to think that their butts were made of glass. Like, did they sit on something?
Oh, the specific triggering thing for a
like
person?
For the individual. I don't know. Like,
well, I can give you kind of a broad-reaching idea of what caused this very specific thing in the very specific. Only the nobility.
Okay.
Other than possible genetic mental illness or hereditary mental illness, they kind of, so you've heard a lot of melancholy or melancholia as being a diagnosis. Oh, they were just very sad. They needed to go to the seaside or just that sort of thing.
Melancholy.
It's kind of a noble depression, often linked to the aristocracy and genius. Contemporary psychologists speculate that believing a person was glass could have been a way of expressing how vulnerable or exposed they felt in their public positions.
Yeah.
As a way of expressing their humanity and sensitivity and a desire to be left alone.
I get that.
Yeah, I totally get that. I'm just going to be like, hey, I'm glass, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Just like, please just put me on a shelf and let me stay there. Okay, thank you, bye.
Like, oh, no, don't touch me. Just... I'm glass.
Don't touch me. I'm glass. Please don't be offended by my desire for you not to touch me. I'm glass. It's not you. It's me.
It's not, yeah.
And it's like, but that also makes perfect sense. Like, just you're like you're in the public eye. Even like I don't know why this isn't more prevalent right now with the massive amount of media scrutiny every single day.
Yeah.
Of people, and it's just like, you know what? I'm just glass. Leave me alone, okay? Like, yeah. So, but I can understand how like you have this. You have to be this. You have to be a king. You have to show your strength. You have to be firm and be there. But like also, you're taxing. Human, and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
So like, just take a little mentee bee. Tell everybody you're made of glass, and they'll leave you alone for a little bit. You know.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like what we said initially, clear quality, really beautiful glass was becoming a luxury item at this time. It was just getting made into these, kind of reached the peak of its production.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if this is true, but I imagine more intricate glass blowing techniques. So thinner sculptures, figurines made of glass, as opposed to like thicker chunks of it. So they are more fragile and more delicate.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like nailed it. So clear glass at the time was a precious commodity only found in royal palaces, churches, and government buildings. The lower class, the common folk, even the lower middle class did not have this. Like if they did have glass windows, they were typically kind of wavy glass or smoked. It was not this really clear.
And it was like thick and crudely made. And
and it was only very expensive. You know, we talked about the mirror mafia.
Yeah.
You know, they couldn't leave Venice. Like their family would be taken hostage if they left Venice and taught anyone about their glass making techniques.
Yeah.
So it was a very specific class of people that had access to this. So it became this, you know, oh, this is such a fine thing. I am such a fine, you know, kind of like this delusion. Edward Shorter, a historian of psychiatry at the University of Toronto, says that fixations with innovative materials have been reported throughout history.
Huh.
So as you said, before the 15th to 17th century, during this glass delusion, before that time period, there were reports of people who believed their bodies were composed of earthenware and pottery.
Huh.
People started to kind of have this delusion, whatever the dominant construction material of the day, concrete. When concrete became more readily available and became not readily available, became on the scene and being used in buildings, people started believing they were made of concrete. Modern day delusions.
Plastic.
There's
that Bob's Burger episode where the guy thinks he's a mannequin.
And there's also the fact that you have the thought that the government has planted a microchip in your brain.
Oh, yeah.
Because we are in microchip technology.
Yeah.
Big Brother is watching you.
Yeah.
Everything is recording your thoughts and your voice and your patterns. So you're now becoming this controlled being.
Yeah.
In 20 years, it's going to be something different.
Yeah.
You know, or in 100 years, or, you know, just whatever is going to be the new innovation, somebody somewhere is going to fixate on that kind of delusion. There are several different writings on this glass delusion. One of the most famous is from Miguel de Cervantes' short story. I'm just going to say I'm going to say the English version because I am not going to try to butcher his language. It's called The Glass Graduate, The Dr. Glass Case, or The Glass Lawyer. It was published in 1613. In it, a brilliant young lawyer called Tomas Rodaja is the victim of a love potion that causes him to believe he is made of glass. He renames himself Vidriera or Window.
Okay.
And gives honest counsel to many, unencumbered by the bonds of flesh. And this is a quote from the book. He asked people to address him from a distance, and he said that they might ask whatever questions they liked because he was a man of glass, not flesh. And since glass is of subtle and delicate matter, the soul works through it with more speed and efficiency than through the material of the normal body, which is heavy and earthy.
Wow.
So he's like, I will be fully transparent with you because I am made of glass. Which I thought was that's an interesting take on it.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
There's also historical fiction, a novel called In a Dark Wood Wandering by Hella Haas. And it kind of is a fictional account of Charles VI, kind of focusing on the heartbreaking portrayal of his portrayal. Oh my goodness, I was portrayal and royalty. The heartbreaking portrayal of his madness. It kind of focuses on him and then some of his children after that. But I found this research fascinating. The fact that the nobility were affected and not the common folks simply because of what was available to him. And it just reminds me again of our bougie through the eras.
Yeah.
Like, I have this very special thing that's very specific to my class. And it affects them, and that it would be triggered by other underlying psychiatric disorders.
Yeah.
And then you kind of fixate on this innovative new thing. And I relate to that. And just become this, I am made of glass.
Yeah.
And it's just really fascinating. In our bonus content, I'm going to talk about 2 other short-term delusions that happened in modern times.
Oh.
And I'm just going to say fan death and the Jerusalem syndrome. Did not know that was a thing.
Cool. All right.
So I'll go into those a little bit in the after chat. But that is the glass delusion. That's the idea that you were made of glass. I love, like, so many of our topics have touched on mental health and different brain things.
The brain is fascinating.
It is seriously fascinating.
Yeah.
I love getting to do these little kind of hyper focuses. Like, I'm reading this and I'm like, I want to become a psychiatrist. And I'm like, no, you're not going to, you can't stay focused that long.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, that's not going to happen.
Smart enough for that.
No, not smart enough. But also, like, I love, like, getting these little drops of, oh, what is this one really cool thing? That's all the information on it. Cool. I know all about it now. I don't. So anyway. Fungus and mental illness. Good fungus, zombie fungus and mental illness.
Glass.
I'm excited to see what title you come up for this episode. Also, shout out to you about the title episodes.
The episode titles?
See?
They're all title episodes.
Shout out to you for the episode titles.
Thank you.
They are so witty and clever. I love them.
I try to make them interesting enough, but also give enough information that you would want to listen, but also not too much. Like, I don't want to be boring with the titles and be like,
we are speaking about the glass delusion and
Ophiocordyceps unilateralis.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. I love them. I love waking up on Thursday morning after you've uploaded and being like, oh, this was going to be a fun episode.
Because lately I have been editing way, way past midnight on a Wednesday, and you go to bed before I even come up with the name of the episode.
I feel guilty.
Oh, don't. Like,
I'm sorry.
Not, like, we can't both edit at the same time.
We can't.
And you've done your part long before I reach that point. So, which helps a lot, because by the time I do finish the edit and upload it to Buzzsprout, our host, it helps to be able to copy paste what you wrote in the show notes, and I don't even have to think about it.
Yay, I helped.
It's great. Because by the time I'm done editing, I'm like, okay, gotta get this uploaded so I can actually sleep tonight. Copy paste, done.
Yay. Okay, good. I'm glad that is helpful for you.
Yeah. Oh man, if I were to have to type up the little episode description after all of that, I think I would go crazy. So yeah, it really does help a lot. So shout out to you for doing that.
Yay.
Heads does all the episode descriptions and the show notes and stuff. It's my job to copy paste them to all the places. So
what a team. We're a team. Yay. Do you have a warm ember before we wrap up?
No, we can't wrap up yet.
Why can't we wrap up?
Because we haven't drawn cards.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, let's draw some cards.
All right. Well, I'll let you shuffle those.
Okay. I'm sorry, but this one little Girl Scout cookie is going to be a warm ember in a minute.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be gone in a second. It'll be my warm ember first. No, I'm kidding.
We're going to fight over the...
If you would like to follow us, you can find our social media just in any of the places. All the social medias, just look for Jess and Hids Make Words, or just Jess and Hids will probably show up. If you would like to support us in a more direct way, you can join our Patreon, and we've got so many fun things going on. This will be just like a quick little plug. I'm not going to go into all the perks and all the things, but just so many fun things. Follow our newsletter. You can sign up for our newsletter by going to our website, jessandhids.com. What else? What else am I forgetting? Newsletter, Patreon, social medias.
That's it.
That's pretty much it. Patreon.com/jessandhids for the awesome bonus content that we've been putting out specifically about this podcast. That's a fun perk that we do.
I have a lot of fun with those.
Yeah.
And we also occasionally do a thing we call after pie sessions.
We haven't done one of those in a long time.
We haven't been coming home after work. We've been doing the dog sitting thing, but we just get on the mics unedited and we go on to whatever little tangent our 3 a.m. brain happens to fixate on.
Yep. We call them our after pie session because it's after we come home from making pies at night for the cafe that we work at. Sometimes our brains are super active at that point. And
even though we're exhausted.
Even though we're tired, our brains will not shut up. So we randomly had the idea to just get on the mics and record.
Stream of consciousness.
And see what happens.
It's great.
And so far it's been pretty fun. And it has been a while since we've done one, but we should do one this week.
We're making pies tonight.
We are, yeah.
Depends on if we want to stare at these microphones again today.
Yeah.
So.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, let's draw some cards. I have them all spread out on the table here.
Okay.
Shuffled up.
Okay.
All right, you go.
Okay.
Also, something I'm going to post is our growing little sketch ghost collection. It's going to go up. We have a little Rambo that Mo sent in. We have D. Peppy. And we have David Bowie. Okay, what? Okay, you got your cards.
I was purposefully being super silent as I drew this card because you were talking and I didn't want to squeal.
Squeal? Are you going to squeal? Are you super excited?
No. I mean, I'm okay. I'm fine.
I know what card you got.
No, you didn't.
I do.
You don't have ESP.
I do. I know what card you got.
What? Is it because the tape is sticking over the edge?
No. Oh, no.
Why?
Maybe I know. I don't know.
You don't know.
Okay, I don't know.
No. It's going to be fun, though. It's going to be... No, I can't even give a hint. I can't even give a hint.
I'm excited for my card. I also drew a card while you were squealing. And
not squeal. Well, I was trying not to squeal.
I'm excited for it. I love my card.
Oh, good.
Yep.
You want to elaborate on that?
It's a card. It's about a topic.
What?
And
Crazy.
In a week, you're going to learn what that topic is.
Wow. Neat.
Cool.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, same.
Cool. I'm excited.
It's crazy that we kind of drew the same thing, right? It's a card. It's a topic.
Wow. It's weird how this works.
I know.
I can see your card.
The one that says Ophiocordyceps unilateralis.
Yes.
Just say that one more time.
I got to replace that. I know. Okay. I'm really impressed with your
I said it
your
a lot.
mastery of that word.
Yeah. I can't say any of the other scientific names that I said, but Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, I can say that.
I remember you said zombie yay, and I was like, zombie yay.
Zombie yay. Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
War member, what is yours?
Oh, well, you stole the cookie.
Oh, you can have the cookie because that's not actually mine. Mine's going to get me emotional. But
my warm ember this week is a good one that I will tell you. As soon as I think of it. And here it comes. So we have ranted occasionally about how neither of us like TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
We finally caved, and we have a Jess and Hids TikTok account that we have not done anything with. In fact, the only thing that we do with this account is send one particular friend of ours, friend and patron,
Stray Kids
videos back and forth. We even have, like, I guess TikTok does a thing where you can have like a streak pet. Because if you like, it's a streak. If you like every day, if you're messaging every day, your streak continues because everybody loves a good streak. Mm-hmm. And you can have a streak pet. And we have a little streak pet that's a little flame and literally our war member.
Literally our war member. It's hilarious.
And I don't.
Oh, we should get a little picture of it and post it.
We should.
Our little streak pet.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Our streak pet.
Also, we love Stray Kids.
Yeah.
So shout out to all the stays who listen.
Yeah. We actually we have a Facebook Messenger chat called Ravenna Stays. And we have, stays are the name for the Stray Kids fan base. And there's a whole reason for that I won't go into because we've been recording for almost 2 hours.
Yep.
So Ravenna Stays, and then we have a channel on our Discord server for stray kids stuff too. And so far there are 3 of us.
There are 3 of us.
No, 4 of us. We roped someone in. We roped in Nicole.
Yeah.
That's my war members. But I will say I'm coming around to TikTok. Still not going to even try to think about coming up with content for us to put out there. Because I don't even know, I don't want to dive into all of that right now.
That would be a hyperfixation.
Yeah.
And I don't have time for that one right now.
So for now, our TikTok is just basically stray kids.
Yeah.
And those 2 goddess boys, because
oh my God, they're
fascinating to watch. The goddess boys.
The goddess boys. They're hilarious.
Anyway,
I feel like I have to tap the microphone.
I know.
I don't have the nails, but okay. I love your war member.
What's yours?
Mine is a little emotional. I had some unfortunate news this weekend, but sorry, it just kicked me again.
Yeah.
I lost a friend this weekend, and unfortunately his dog was left without his dad. So we are working to bring his dog from Washington to North Carolina. And
if you need me to take over, say the word. You got this.
I've posted on my social media for help with the relay, and my pocket friends have helped so much.
Oh man, you're getting me going.
I'm sorry. By the time this podcast comes out on Thursday, the puppy should be with my sister in Texas, and then moving forward in her journey to North Carolina to be with her dad's family.
Oh, I love that so much.
And it's totally possible because of my Facebook friends who are helping. I have one who is literally driving from Washington to Texas with my sister and the dog. Oh, I'm sorry. But anyway, my war member is that there are amazing, beautiful people who are willing to help. So thank you all. Okay, I'm just like weeping. Okay, I'm sorry. You can close out.
All right. Thank you from me too, even though I never met Hiddle's friend. It's just awesome to see people step up for such an amazing cause. Thank you, everybody, for listening to our podcast. And I will say that if you are interested in helping out financially for the transportation of this dog, Hiddles did set up a Facebook group to kind of help coordinate that. And if you want more information about that, reach out to us and we will get you added, or we'll get you just whatever information you need to sort of help contribute to that. That would be great. Yeah.
The Facebook group, I think it's called Moving Mackenzie.
Moving Mackenzie. Yeah, that's the little pup's name. So you can request to join that, or honestly, just email us at jessandhids@gmail.com and we'll get you any information for any way you would like to contribute.
Yeah. We do have a Venmo donation thing set up there in that group as well. Yeah. Because we have to bail her out of the animal shelter where she was taken, and then transport costs and stuff. So any help would be appreciated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm gonna.
All right,
it's been a hard weekend, so
we're gonna
wrap this up.
We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna end. We're gonna probably eat a few cookies before we do our and another thing after chat.
Yeah, I gotta
and drink some water.
Drink some water.
My mouth is super dry.
I'm gonna start doing the hey, everybody, drink some water. Yeah, it's important. Hydrate.
Yeah, please take a drink.
Take a drink.
Whatever you're doing right now, just stop. Take a drink. You probably have a water bottle with you. If you're not, get one. Or just go over to the fridge
or the faucet or wherever.
Whatever. Yeah.
Hydrate. Just stay hydrated.
Yep.
And
stay hydrated. Yeah. Dried out noodle. I don't know.
Little ramens. Oh gosh. Okay, I needed that laugh. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you everybody
all so much for listening. Spread the word as much as you can. We are still super excited about how much this podcast is growing, and we're like addicted to watching that number of downloads tick up.
Yeah.
So spread the word. Feed our addiction, please.
Yes. Thank you, and
we'll talk at you next week.
Talk at you next week.
Bye.